Part 6, our conclusion, bringing it all together. Hi, I'm Louise Fouché from OTGrow. Welcome to this episode and welcome to the last conclusion part of our using crafts in groups. And yeah, we're going to bring it all together to just see where we came from, what we've covered in this series. Before that, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to get more quality information and to be part of the conversation when you are on the different platforms. Also, to press the notification button so that you will know when any of our episodes are available. And I would like you to pop a comment. What have you learned from this series? What has been a significant shift you've made? Or share with us a craft that you use differently or a new craft that you've discovered and what you're trying to achieve with that, so that we can all learn from each other and we can your idea can spark my idea, and that is how iteratively this process can be, and we can make sure that we really facilitate quality intervention for our clients. At the end of the day, it's always about our clients. All right, so we started this series by having a look at 3 questions to always ask yourself. Is there intervention when I use crafts? In other words, my craft teacher or the art teacher or my mom at home or my child, if I did it with them and I'm doing exactly the same in the therapy session, then there isn't actually a therapeutic intervention. Ask yourself, where is the therapeutic intervention in this? Second of all, if you're doing it in a group, where is the group intervention? It's not just about each one of us doing it on our own like you would in a craft class or in an art class. How am I using the group to also bring an element of intervention in? Even if I use crafts, I can still bring elements in that really make sure there's a group intervention. And lastly, to always ask myself, what is the goal I'm trying to achieve? Not to start with a craft, even though we've called it Using Crafts in Group series, we know by our whole ethos and orientation, it's always about what are we trying to achieve first, and then selecting the craft that is going to meet that goal. By the time my clients are finished with a session or the 3 days, they would have reached these outcomes. All right, so we started with those questions, and I encourage you to keep asking those questions every time you have to put up a program in which you need to fill in the craft slot. Ask yourself these questions continuously. So also just to remind that actually the series came from a question that was asked about a craft program. And so the person who asked the question, Kat, I hope that this gives you a very good idea of all the different elements of crafts and how you can address different things within your program to make it not only exciting, but to make sure that effective therapy is being done. I also want to just remind everybody that these crafts that I've explained now and used in groups is what we would use with the interactive group model. And so again, to say these are for clients on passive participation and higher with our model of creative ability. I will still make a series on groups with clients on lower levels because there's a total different way that we think and what we would facilitate with our lower levels. But for now, to understand that everything that I have explained in this series is with the understanding it's clients that are from passive participation and higher. They have good interaction with each other, their ability to form relationships and to have interactions and communication is good. They are task centered, they have got their task concept, and they are product centered, and those are all things that are needed to be able to achieve the goals as we went through them one by one in this series. And so finally, it's just to recap again and to say the goals that you can use crafts for is where the craft becomes the means to an end. I've got specific goals, like, for instance, delayed gratification, the frustration tolerance. I have accuracy, neatness, all of those things. I can use crafts as a way to support group cohesion and to enhance it by using a craft. I can use crafts as a craft project that facilitates a team process in which the needs of the group as they are raised is facilitated by the facilitator. And we're using the craft or the craft project to be able to have the group in this space and time. And as the process unfolds, you step in and facilitate whatever are problems that are arising. And the last goal that we had is craft as a creative process, where we are really digging into the model of creative ability to help our clients to improve their drive. And lastly, just to say, we keep in mind that it is always within a context of the group, a context of a community, a context of a culture, and to keep all of these in mind when you do select your crafts. If you are working with a very specific cultural group, then leaning to activities that make sense, that are culturally appropriate for this group. If you have got a mixed group, then again, leave it over to the group and let them decide. Give them 2 or 3 options, maybe ones that are a bit more culturally appropriate, others that are really just general, and see what the group leans into and what they select to do. And I think that brings us to the conclusion of this series. Again, my hope is that you have been inspired to think differently about crafts, to see this multi-layered tool in a certain sense, that we can use crafts in so many different ways. And to come back to this idea that crafts are not just meaningful for occupational therapists, but they are effective. There's something when our clients who more and more have got decreased focus, are able to not have to listen and be in a mind space, but can really get in there with their hands. Now, when we live in an era where hobbies are so few and far between, that people can come back to creating and creativity, which leaves a total different discussion that maybe we will address for another day. But yes, so there's lots of food for thought. Please pop us a comment. Tell us what you found meaningful in the series, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, how you have tried new crafts, new things that we can all learn. And this can be an iterative process where we learn from each other and then make sure that we have effective intervention for our clients. And I will see you at the end of this next week. Happy facilitation.